Now let's talk about the reflections. So we're going to do reflections about the x-axis and about the y-axis. So first, let's do our points. So we have x, we have square root of x, which is our parent function, negative square root of x, and the square root of negative x. So let's see. The first thing we need to remember is that we cannot have a negative value under a square root. So let's start with, let's see, -4, -1, 0, 1, 1, yes, and 4. So remember, no negatives when we take the square root. So we cannot put -4 in for just the plain old square root of x, nor can we put -1 in. But we can put in 0, 1, and 4. If we put 0 in, we get 0, 1 is 1, and 4 is 2. So our original absolute value, square root function looks like this. It's like a parabola that's been turned on its side, remember? We talked about this in the library of functions in section 3.4. Okay, let's do negative square root of x. So if we put -4 in, we still can't do that because that's a negative under a square root. Same thing with -1. If we put 0 in, we get 0. If we put 1 in, we get -1. And if we put 4 in, we get -2. So if we plot those, we have 0, 0, 1, -1, 4, -2, and we know it carries on the same way. So this is negative square root of x. I'm sorry, I forgot to label the square root one. Now let's go back and do the one with the negative under the square root. So this changes what values of x are allowed. Because now, if we put -4 in, we have -4, which is a positive 4. And when we take the square root of that, we get 2. Same thing works for 1 and 0 because 0 is neither positive nor negative. But if we put a positive 1 in, now we're left with trying to take the square root of a negative number, which we can't do. So for all practical purposes, we end up with 0, 0, -1, 1, and -4, positive 2. So it goes like that. So you can see this one, the negative outside the square root reflected across the x-axis, and the negative inside the square root reflected across the y-axis. So let's just sum that up real fast. So for horizontal and vertical reflections, if we put the negative in front of the parent function, it reflects over the x-axis. And if we put the negative inside the parent function, it reflects over the y-axis. Okay, I think that's all I need to say in this video. In the next video, we will pick up with when we have multiple transformations on the same problem. So I'll see you in that video.